I was going for like sporty spice with this look, but I think I'm coming off more like plus size off-brand Barbie. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and today I'm going to be talking about why I am better than you. Just kidding. I am going to be talking about this machine right here though, the Peloton that I bought recently. There is some sort of like superiority complex that comes with owning a Peloton. Like I don't know what it is, but it showed up and I was just like, wow, like I am it. I am the moment. Like I may be a year behind, but I own a Peloton. I am so cool. So I want to talk about the Peloton today for a couple of reasons. This isn't like a health and fitness kind of channel, but I do have a theme of, you know, becoming the best version of yourself, and part of that for me is getting healthier, getting more fit. Honestly, guys, I hate exercising. I've never been that person who's like, oh my god, like I get such a high from working out, like it's so great, like it's like so great for my mental health. I hate it. I hate exercising. I've never liked it. I have lots of issues with like food and exercise and my body that we could go into, but honestly, if I was going to go into all that, you guys would have to charge me like a therapist fee. So that being said, I am a plus size bitch who hates to exercise. I just wanted something fun that I could do. That's just a really long-winded way of me saying I bought a Peloton and I want to talk to you guys about it. I am going to talk to you guys about a couple things that I wish I knew before I actually bought the Peloton and had it in my house. Some tips and tricks for true beginner tips and tricks here, as well as a few things that are specific to like my other plus size babes out there who might be a little on the fence about, you know, the Peloton fitness cult, as well as the ability to actually do the rides and the workouts. So without any further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing that I want to mention about my Peloton is that I just bought the Peloton bike. I did not buy the Peloton Bike Plus. That is my first tip. If you have a laptop or like a smart TV or a phone or anything, you don't need the Bike Plus. There are a couple differences between the bike and the Bike Plus. Some of it has to do with like the sound and like, I don't know, the speakers, whatever. The two big differences in my opinion between the bike and the Bike Plus though are the swivel screen and the auto follow resistance. So you can change the resistance on your bike when you're in the class. The instructors will tell you to put your resistance up or down. On the Bike Plus, it will do that for you. On the regular bike, you have to do it manually. That's really not that big of a deal to me because it's not that hard to reach down and turn the knob. It's not even a thought when you're in the class. The swivel screen is a big thing for some people. I decided to just go with the regular bike, not the Bike Plus, based on the swivel screen alone. It really wasn't that big of a deal to me to be able to turn the screen to use it. I mean, you have the app you can use on your phone or your laptop. And then something I didn't know when I was buying is that this screen, if you have a smart TV, will actually cast to your smart TV. So if you want to do one of the non-cycling classes, you don't need to switch the screen and, you know, face this way to look at it. You can cast it to your smart TV. You can set your laptop up. It's really like, honestly, I think if I got the Bike Plus, I probably wouldn't even use the swivel screen anyway. I would just be casting it to my TV because it just makes more sense to me. So if you have those options available to you, then forego the Bike Plus, just go with the bike. You're going to get the same accessories and everything else that comes with it. You're just not going to get the auto follow resistance or the swivel screen or like better speakers. I mean, you're putting your headphones in anyway, who cares, right? So that leads me to my second tip about the Peloton. The one that I ordered, I think they all come with this, came with a heart rate monitor, a pair of headphones, came with the shoes with the clip-in cleat, and a set of weights. I picked 2-pound weights because I'm weak. When you're checking out with your bike, you're going to want to pick your shoe size. I've talked about this before. I have wide feet. My size varies between like an 8.5 and a 9. I went with a 9 for these shoes and I'm really glad that I did, because when you put them on, you want them to be tight because you don't want your feet sliding out of them. That defeats the whole purpose of like clipping into the pedals and all that stuff. But you don't want them to be too tight that your feet go numb because you are clipped in. You can't like wiggle your toes to get any relief or anything like that. So if you have wide feet like I do, or if you're in between sizes, I would definitely go up a size because you can adjust the width with these Velcro straps, as well as this strap, which is kind of like if you've ever been on like roller skates or anything like that. It works the same way. It just clips in and tightens like that. So you're much better off having your shoe be a little bit too big and be able to tighten it rather than it be too tight and then your feet are just so uncomfortable the entire time that you can barely even make it through the workout. Trust me, as someone who has suffered from numb feet on all kinds of cardio machines in the past, go a size up. Go a half size up. Just do it. Trust me, just do it. My next tip is probably something that's really obvious to anyone who has ever actually like done a spin class or knows anything about Peloton or does any sort of research before they make an investment, which I did not. You're probably wondering, why do you have a blanket taped to the seat? That's weird. That's a weird decoration choice. The seat is so hard. Oh my gosh. It's like sitting on a cement block, but worse somehow. I had no idea. I really didn't have any idea how painful the seat was going to be. So I did my first ride. I was just setting it up. I wasn't actually planning on doing a ride at that moment, but I was in the moment, so I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. I did a 20-minute ride. I was good for about the first like 12 minutes, around the 12-minute mark. Oh my god, it felt like I was being violated. It was so painful to sit on this bike. Okay, friends, so I just did my first, well, I didn't just do, like, maybe like an hour ago. I had to, you know, had to get cute again. I just got my hair done today, so, you know, had to fix all that. But I did just do my first Peloton workout. I did 20 minutes. I did a beginner ride. It was really hard. I mean, not that I expected it to be easy, but it was really difficult. Like, I can typically bang out like a 30-minute cardio section. I'm not gonna say it's always easy, but like I'm usually like 30 minutes, like especially when I'm easing back in, is like a good amount of time for me for cardio. Oh my god, I did 10 minutes on this bike and I was like, is this effing over yet? Like in a good way, not like, oh my god, I hate this, but like, oh my god, this is so hard. My first impression right off the bat, especially if you're a woman, if you have woman parts, get a bike seat or get some bike shorts, because I straight up felt like I was getting ripped in half. Pray for my vagine, pray for my lady. That was my initial like reaction after I did it. Turns out I was sitting on it wrong. So that's my actual tip. Before you do your first ride, make sure you get your posture right. You want to be sitting back as far as you can on the seat. Your hips should be out at the widest point. That will help with the pain of, you know, they like to call it your sits bones. I'm gonna call it your butthole area because that's where it really was. They said that even if you do that, it still takes some getting used to. I put that blanket on. It helps for sure. I've ordered some padded bike shorts, which was another suggestion that I found on the internet. I ordered them from Amazon. If you guys want an update, I will let you know how those work. Like I said, it's not something that if I knew, it would have stopped me from buying the Peloton, but it would have made me take more time before I just jumped in on my first ride to kind of figure out how I was actually supposed to be seated and postured on it so that I didn't have to sit on an ice pack at night. It's very embarrassing, but it is what it is. Alright, so my next tip has to do with actually using the bike itself, doing the rides. The cool thing about having the Peloton bike and doing the classes is like, yeah, you're in a class and you can see other people and what they're doing and all that kind of stuff, but you're in it by yourself. My actual tip, to get to the point, is to follow the instructor's instructions as much as you can, but also just do it at your own pace. Like, you're gonna get in the class and they're gonna say right off the bat for your warm-up, like, put your resistance at 25 and get your cadence up to 90. I can't do that. If I do that, I'm getting off of that bike in like 5 minutes because my body is just not at that point where I can do that yet. So what I suggest doing instead, when they're shouting out a cadence, they're shouting out a resistance, if you can't get to that point, do what you can while following them along. If they're saying we're going up a hill and your resistance should be, you know, 40 to 50 and your cadence should be 60 to 70, but you can only get a cadence of 40 to 50 at a resistance of 30 to 40, do that. When they say put your resistance up 1 or 2 or 3, do that where you're at. So you're still following their instructions, you're still pushing yourself, but you're where you need to be. Their instructions are just guidelines to get you through the workout. You do what you need to do. Even they're gonna have like the leaderboards and stuff like that. If that makes you feel discouraged, you don't have to look at it. You don't need to see if you're coming in absolute last place. So anyway, that's just advice that I need to give to myself because, like I just said, like, I get super easily discouraged. If you do too, don't. That's the best that I can say. Just do what you can and you'll continue to grow on your own that way. Just because they're telling you to do X, Y, and Z, if you can't make it to X, Y, and Z, do A, B, C. Do what works for you. And my last tip is probably like the most annoying and most obvious of them all, but don't take it too seriously. I mean, everybody jokes about like Peloton being like a fitness cult, and you know, you got the commercial with the scared wife. Everybody in the commercials, they always look like super rich and super fit, and I'm gonna get up at 5 a.m. and I'm not even gonna let my cat staring at me get me down. You know, if you're looking at like advice and stuff on blogs and things like that, it's always gonna be about like beating your personal records and getting to your century ride and where we're ranking in the leaderboards, and none of that matters. And if cycling is something that you like to do and you're interested in buying a Peloton, you don't need to be a fitness cult junkie. You don't need to be super thin or super rich or super hot. Look at me. I am none of those things. I am neither thin, rich, or hot. So take me as your example. There are tons and tons of classes on the Peloton like app thing that are super intense, and the instructors are super intense, pushing yourself and going to the limit and, you know, all sorts of stuff. But there's also a lot that are just like way more chill. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I'll link some of my favorite rides that I've done so far below. If you're just in it to have some fun and get a little bit of a sweat going, that's where I am right now. I 100% recommend any ride with Cody Rigsby. He is so just like, don't take anything too seriously. He's so fun. His rides are just like, you're like riding and you want to dance. Like you're not even focusing on like how bad your legs hurt or your butt hurts sitting on the seat or anything like that. It's just so much fun, and that's what it should be. I bought this machine, you know, to help me move towards like a fitter lifestyle, but more importantly, I bought this machine to have fun with. I want to look forward to getting on it every day or every other day or whatever, and I want you to look forward to it too. So if you're on the fence about getting a Peloton, or if you've got one and it's just sitting there, you know, collecting dust in your house, I hope that you take my advice and don't take it too seriously. Just have fun with it. Laugh at yourself when you get it wrong. Laugh at yourself when you can't get your freaking cleats clipped in, because I never can. It's even worse getting clipped out. It's a nightmare. If you guys are interested in seeing like my progress over 30 days, I am planning on doing 30 rides in 30 days. If you're interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments down below. I'd be more than happy to film that with you. If you have any other questions, looking for any other tips, or if you want to share your favorite rides with me, if you already have a Peloton, I would love to read those down below as well. And that is it for today's video. I hope to see you guys very soon in my next one. Bye!